Sorry, was that too hot? Was I being too,
It's a little warm. We definitely got a little warm there.
Sorry. I just feel like you gotta build a bridge. That's what I think. I think someone like me, I'm not saying you guys, but like, I'm trying to get people to be more open-minded. That's what I would like to do.
That's what I'm trying to do, simply.
I would like people not to be racist. I would like people not to be transphobic. I would like people not to be homophobic. I'm like, I would like a lot of things.
Like, I feel like I want to...
Should we all just unlist the VOD?
I'm not in the mental headspace to be dealing with that right now, to be completely honest.
Okay.
I'm quite literally
I'm gonna delete my VOD.
Bro, they didn't even say anything crazy. She didn't even say anything crazy.
I did a really poor job at articulating myself. Even some of the clips I've seen, I feel so irresponsible for my own wording. I really do.
It's almost like they're treating her like she's the cause of racism and bigotry because she hung out with FaZe or something. You know, like, I
watched it back. I understand why it was hurtful.
They broke her, you guys. I have now become radicalized. Like, I'm a radicalized pro QTCinderella streamer. We're going to devote the next 2 weeks to QTCinderella. I just want to kick the door down, be like, you didn't do anything wrong. I just feel like there's a lot of anger right now. Like, what's happening with like QTCinderella right now, I think kind of relates to to what we're talking about here. She did like a collaboration with like FaZe Clan. And then I think, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think like members of her own community were really upset because I guess FaZe Clan use homophobic like jokes. They do like homophobic jokes. And then people were saying like, can't hang out with them because that means like you endorse what they're saying or something to that effect. So QT initially took a posture of kind of defiance and was like, you guys are overreacting. And I don't really know much about the story, but then it turned into something else. I guess she was getting a ton of heat from her own audience here, and it turned into like a tearful apology.
I've heard what a lot of people are saying, and I am sorry for the hurt that I've caused people. I'm really sorry. Again, if you don't want this apology, then it's not for you. And clearly you're not hurt, but I'm apologizing to people that I've hurt, and that's important to me. So if you're a part of the queer community and I've hurt you, I am sorry. If you are a person of color who I have hurt.
Wait, that's confusing. A person of color? I thought, look, I'm not saying FaZe is like a very progressive group of content creators, but don't they have multiple people that are part of the org that are not white? Isn't it like a very decent chunk of them? What's going on with like people of color? Wait, what? Does that mean people like Valk and Pokey aren't interacting with FaZe anymore? I guess that's what this means. Conversation was about keeping bigoted people in their lives, not just FaZe. I guess it's just a difference of like, I don't know. I am sympathetic to the initial defense that she went with for herself. Felt like I was sympathetic to that defense. She was saying that, one of the best ways that you can persuade people to a different perspective is by not completely pushing them out of your life. Because then aren't we getting into the side of like the very definition of echo chambers, right? Like,
I think the way I was wording things was very like irresponsible and wrong. And I'm sorry. This is not about me. It's annoying that I am.
Doesn't she do like a podcast with Hassan? Like, isn't she, I don't know. I imagine the response that she was getting was so intense, because otherwise what would prompt this when just a couple days ago she had a totally different tone? Was she just getting like absolutely torn to shreds? And Bad Company with $2. Hassan, Lily, and Pokimane were phasing up last week, but literally last week. Why the fuck are people shitting on QTCinderella now? That's so wild. Somebody linked me a summary of the drama. Okay, hold on. People in Vanilla's Katie's chats were bringing up the issue of QT associating and collabing with FaZe, as members have apparently been racist, homophobic, etc. QT understandably was irritated by this, that the audience wants to police who she spends time with, and went on a 10 to 15 minute rant about how her position is that you can change people's hearts and minds by not avoiding them, but by talking to them. I think most people believe this, by the way. I think that's most people's position, right? Like if she was hanging out with Nick Fuentes, it's a different story, right? The FaZe guys, they don't strike me as, how best to say this? Don't think the FaZe guys are very like ideological. I don't think they're thinking about politics, socioeconomics. They're just very content brained. I don't know if they're like married to any kind of ideology. So if they've used like problematic humor, these are not people that I think like I can see someone like QTCinderella, you know, if she was thoughtful about how she, you know, questioned some of their language or whatever, then I think, you know, those are people that I imagine would you might be able to convince them that like, oh, I never thought of it that way, because like I just don't think that these people are just ideologically problematic. And if they're just fucking around with humor, I just don't even know if you want to pick every fight in that way. Okay, so QT went on a 10 to 15 minute rant about how her position is that you can change people's hearts and minds by not avoiding them, but by talking to them. Mentioned she has a trans sibling and wants to change her transphobic dad's opinion, for example. Katie was mostly quiet throughout this, and Vanilla backed up some of what QT was saying. Now Vanilla and Katie apparently have very progressive and LGBTQ plus audiences, so the audience, weren't happy with this opinion and didn't want to hear it, despite the fact that they're the ones bringing it up in all of their chats. So there was lots of pushback, mainly on QT and also Vanilla for going with it. Following this and the significant backlash on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, etc., Vanilla talked on stream about how she was clearly uncomfortable and doesn't agree with what QT was saying and won't collab in the future. Wait, what? Hang on. Is this true? How do I?
Just if you were still hang out with someone like that, then you just support it.
No, so this is what I'm going to describe, okay? And you guys can believe what you believe.
I know, like, I want, like, explain it. I want you to, like, explain it better.
I'm going to explain it. You guys can believe what you want to believe, I understand, but you're not allowed to coach me and say, like, that's not right, that's not what you, like, just because I don't act the same way you act, you're not allowed to, like, coach me through that. Because at the end of the day, I am somebody that's like, bitch, I'm an ally. Like, I'm not homophobic. Everybody knows I'm not homophobic. It doesn't matter who I talk to. Like, the thing is, like, I was raised in a very religious family. Unfortunately, there are people in my family that are racist. There are people in my family that are bigoted. There are people in my family that are homophobic. There's people in my family that are transphobic. Like, but I still love my family, right? And I still know that there are that members of my family have good qualities. They have good qualities. And what's most important to get people to love other people is to love them. Fighting hate with hate will never get anything anywhere. If I were to say to someone who's homophobic, go fuck yourself, you homophobic prick, yes, I told them what they deserve. However, they aren't ever going to feel accepting. They're never going to learn how to be accepting. Like, do you understand that if you just write people off because they believe different things than you, they're never going to be exposed to why it's good to be around people that don't think like you, right?
No, I see that.
So my step.
She said, "Yeah, I see that." Okay.
My stepbrother is trans, and my dad refuses to use the correct pronouns.
And does right.
And he doesn't understand that he doesn't understand why it's so important, right? And it drives me crazy, and it drives my stepbrother crazy, of course. But I've had to say to my dad, you know, it's not gonna hurt you. It's not gonna hurt you to say the correct pronouns, but it does hurt him when you say the wrong ones.
Right.
And you know what the difference is I'm able to have this conversation with my dad because I'm open-minded and we love each other. My stepbrother just says fuck off and won't talk to my dad. So there's no progress being made, right? And so you can believe what you want. You guys you can say that. You can.
Well, you know, I'm sympathetic to the argument that you're gonna have family members, and you know your family's your family. You don't pick your family. You don't pick your relatives. Of like being someone who is an advocate for somebody else, that makes sense. But if like somebody is trans and then their family, some family members are just, you know, for example, just misgendering that person constantly and just refusing to use the preferred pronouns. I really don't think there's an issue of not being around that family member, of just saying I'm just not gonna be around that family member. That's just,
if we can't let loose and be ourselves, then what's the point?
Exactly.
Think about that, Adam.
That's actually an interesting,
put my pants back on.
Oddly appropriate Tangio. Yeah, that's just boundaries. But I understand QT, you know, her not necessarily cutting off people and then trying to like maintain a relationship and then try to communicate with this family member.
Say to me, no, you're supporting it. I'm not. I don't support that my father is transphobic at times. I don't support that. I don't support it. Period. The end. But I still love my dad and I'll go to coffee with him tomorrow, but I don't support that. The world is not as black as white as everyone thinks. Like you guys, you can't fight hate with hate. It doesn't get you anywhere. It literally does not get you anywhere. Like it's so important to like, as someone who's very open-minded, to be around closed-minded people and show them that it's okay to be open-minded is actually one of the most important things you can do. Like as a human, it really is. But I get it. You guys can think what you think. I'm not going to change though. I'm not going to, I will never believe that if I'm kind to a hateful person, that means I agree with them. I will never believe that. No matter what you guys say, I won't believe it, because at the end of the day, if I'm around a racist person, I'm just not racist. I'm not. Me, I'm not. They are, yes. But how am I supposed to help them ever? By cutting them off? No.
Oh no. You can just tell, like the Vanillamace person is just like drawing a complete blank here. I didn't really I didn't really fully know the context of like her audiences. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense because I don't know much about Vanillamace. All I know is that I think she just kind of came out of nowhere and started to get a bunch of TikTok love. And then she talked shit about Ethan in a TikTok. And then like Hassan invited her to collaborate. And then QT started hanging out with her. But that's how like it started, was like she like made fun of like Ethan. Made fun of like Teddy Fresh, I think. And so I guess it makes sense that maybe she had a large influx of new audience members that came from Hassan's community.
Like, I get it. You guys can think in black and white, but that's not how it works over here. That's not how it works for me. But sorry for the.
I feel like it's no. Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. It's like, again, it's like one of those things where it's like, dang, like it is like a fucking hard thing. Because again, like there's definitely people in my family as well that like are fucking like pretty Trumpy and like in my extended family and shit. And I grew up around a lot of that too, where just hearing remarks and them saying things about just like people that were not fucking just white straight people, and me kind of being like, what the fuck, like like quite literally what the fuck, and like it's almost like a thing where it's like.
She had a more chill fan base that got purged and replaced by crazy Hassan people. Wait, is this true? I don't know the lore. You guys tell me.
Again, and this is like not really like my direct family, so it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, I don't really see that.
You can just feel how uncomfortable she is in this conversation. You can just feel it. You can just feel that shit. You can feel the confusion. Like, how do I navigate this? And even if you could, maybe she wouldn't even be able to like consciously describe her reservedness. She intuitively, at minimum, intuitively understands that how she navigates this conversation could literally impact her livelihood in a profound way. That is, I cannot imagine having that level of stress. I have to be really careful about what I say right now, because if I say the wrong thing, I might lose 2/3 of my audience. That's stressful. Jesus Christ. That's like, now you have these incredibly high stakes for a casual conversation. That shit sounds so stressful.
Like that anyway, so it's like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like, blow up the dinner table right now? Like, type shit. It's
exactly.
just like, it's like when I feel like when it comes to like real life, like obviously if it's somebody, if I found out that like somebody who is like a really fucking good friend of mine, whatever, like, I mean, that's also the thing too. I'm like, people that are really good friends of mine that I keep close to me, I already know where their head's at. Like, I feel like I already know where their head's at, like when it comes to like people that, so I'm like, that's not really something I have to worry about anyway. But I feel like what kills me the most is I feel like people in chat will be getting so mad, and I'm like, y'all be acting like some of y'all family members, brothers, sisters, like other people that you have, like fucking boyfriends, your boyfriend's friends, like will make, like, this is what kills me, is that these same people will be in a room with their fucking like loser ass boyfriend, and then their boyfriend's brothers or fucking like friends or something will make a gay joke or something, and you'll sit there like this. You'll sit there like that, and then as soon as someone online isn't like literally like standing like screaming at the roof of their fucking like,
And now she's just making people up in her mind.
everyone's like, oh god, they're the worst. They're the worst. They're the worst.
I also think a lot of people are misinterpreting a little bit about like what I'm saying too. I don't judge my stepbrother for not talking to my
No, not at all.
dad.
Okay, well, there you go.
My stepbrother is
His
allowed to
feelings are
do
valid.
that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He is so allowed to be pissed at my dad.
Well, the way you phrased yourself a little bit earlier was a little confusing, I guess.
And clearly, like, my dad is very hurtful when he uses the wrong pronouns. It makes me sad, right? It makes me very, very sad. And that's totally fine that that's his boundary. However, I simply believe that I can coach people into love. And I know that's fucking insane of me to say, but I do think I can get my dad to.
I mean, you got to sleep in the bed that you make for yourself. Well, I'm not saying, like, look, if this is the kind of audience that you want to cultivate, if that's what you have decided is best for your career, I'm not going to judge someone for that, okay, that's what you want to do, but it comes at a cost. That's the point. Like there is a cost to that. And, you have moments like this and it's just so stressful because okay, again, I don't really know much about these people, but it feels like, tell me if I'm wrong, but it seems like QT welcomed this person into their circle, and that was massively beneficial to Vanillamace person, right? Isn't that true? I could be wrong, but I feel like she invited her to do like podcasts and collaborations and stuff like that, and was like massively beneficial to this person's career. And I guess you guys are saying that she threw her under the bus? Like what? The internet like mob is like so powerful that she would throw QT under the bus after QT like welcomed her into the circle. Now, I'm not saying you need to be loyal to people in that way. I'm just saying like that's how strong the internet like mob can be. That's how intense they can be.
Not be transphobic eventually. I believe
But that's
that.
the thing, and it happens. Like, there are so many stories of people out there being like quite literally being like, oh, I quite literally was fucking racist, or I was homophobic, or I was XYZ, whatever, transphobic. And then they literally are like, and then I met someone who either was one of these or something like that. And then like you see these people, and then I feel like people, like I'll see videos of shit like that, and people be like, wow, people can change. That's so amazing. And then it's like, but it took other people around them to make that change. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
cutting people off, like fighting people is like, it just separates people more. Like if you say, you're so stupid. Why do you believe in that? Compared to saying, huh, why do you believe in that? And genuinely having a conversation about it. Like, I
Like, literally, why? Like, let's talk
that's
about
hard.
it.
I really understand.
Yeah.
I understand that it's hard and it's not for everybody. I really understand, but you can't hold everyone to your same moral high ground and just assume that because I am not doing what you would do. My stepbrother does not think I am transphobic because I talk to my dad. My stepbrother doesn't think that. So why do people on the internet think that? You know what I'm saying? Like if I talk to so-and-so who's transphobic, all of a sudden on the internet, I am transphobic. Even if I would to say, oh, I've watched that streamer before. You watch a transphobic streamer, you freak. You're transphobic. I'm not.
Yeah.
You guys, you simply cannot tell me what I am. You can't. And you haven't watched me long enough if you think you can, because like I know what I am, and I'm also very open to opinions, but I'm not open to bullying of any kind. Even if that's high roading, I'm not open.
And then she gave a tearful apology like the next day. Like, fuck, they fucking broke her, you guys.
To that. It's not helpful. Like it's never been helpful.
Yeah.
It's like telling someone they suck because they're racist, and these are so different terms. Like racist people telling someone they suck because of skin color is obviously worse. But like all we're doing is telling people they suck. Why are we like, come on, they gotta figure this out.
Like they broke her, you guys.
And that's the thing too, it literally like, and I'm the first person to like be like, what the fuck? Like, so to like sit back and like think about it from that different perspective, like quite literally is making me think too, because I am like the first person I feel like to get like, what the fuck? And like, just get up in arms over some shit. And like, granted, if anything, that would just make that person like fucking hate people like me more. You know what I mean?
Well, and I'm so
because
lucky
it's like they almost like look for that sometimes, you know?
I have the privilege.
Like she's trying really hard to, you know, throw a lifeline to QT here. She's like really trying to like advocate for her, you know, and defend her.
I have the privilege. I need to use it, right? I'm a straight white woman. It'd be fucking insane if I didn't use the privilege that I have to help people navigate their bigotry.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Like, that is this. Yeah.
I think I think like a lot of people hear that and they think like, well, that's a bit condescending, you know, like you have a background as an educator, like what's going on here? It's well intentioned. And I think it comes from like a place of, I think it comes from a good place. I think it comes from a well-intentioned place. But I think like most people probably hear that and they're like, I don't want you educating me. People pick up on that kind of stuff. Like if you go into a conversation trying to actively change someone's mind, people are generally, I would say, smart, you know, and they can pick up on that kind of thing. And they're like, I don't think that approach is really winning hearts and minds.
You don't have to do that if you are someone that's being viscerally attacked, right? But me, who I am and where I stand, I do feel responsible to try to help people. That's what I feel like I do. That's my privilege. I don't know.
You know what?
That's our yap for the day. Sorry,
I'm like, well,
I am so fucking physically uncomfortable right now. Like I feel that secondhand discomfort. Like this is painful. This is fucking painful.
Way to go. That was good from you guys. Sorry, I was just
Katie, what do you think?
Bro,
Katie just sitting back. Sorry, Katie.
No, you guys are good. Like, I didn't want to cut anybody off. Like, you guys had a lot of good things to say. I was just sitting here, like, literally reading, like, the thoughts and opinions
Oh Jesus, they're in the call. Like what's going on here?
of my chat. You guys.
I mean, there's someone in the chat right now even just saying like, first step to
I thought this person was just reacting to that. I didn't realize. Okay.
being a Karen.
They started talking. I was like, what's happening here? Whoa.
Like that, you know, stupid stuff like that. And it's like, okay, guys, it's just not helpful. It's not helpful for anybody. It's never helpful.
This is Katie. Is that what's going on here? And then you guys are saying Katie's audience is even more like to the left of Vanillamace's audience.
Yeah.
Like, this is not helpful. Okay, but you talk to them and they're horrible. Did you not hear anything I said?
late night talks.
I'm trans and it really does rub me the wrong way though, especially with streamers who clearly aren't willing to stop jokes. Yeah, I think jokes suck. I've never said I like jokes. That's the funny thing.
I'm so uncomfortable.
I've never said that I like these jokes. I've never said that. That's never come out of my mouth. Like, it's just so silly. So silly.
Okay, your game's still downloading because you're still on Pixel.
I don't know why I'm still on Pixel. Like, that's what everyone's saying too. But it's downloaded. I'm in.
Sorry, was that too hot? Was I being too
It's a little warm. We definitely got a little warm there.
Sorry. I just feel like you gotta build a bridge. That's what I think. I think someone like me. I'm not saying you guys.
No, I'm
It might not be
listening
safe
and I'm
for you
here.
to build a
Yo.
bridge. It might not be safe for people in chat.
I feel like what QT said was, you're talking about a difficult subject. It is a difficult subject, and I think it hits home. I think it probably hits close to home for a lot of people. Maybe there's a lot of people that were in any of their chats that have really bad experiences with their own family. I know I saw a poll recently that showed a significantly higher percentage of people on the left that are open to cutting off family members than what you see on the right. And so like this just happens, I think, more on the left. And it's a case by case, because again, I think it's totally reasonable to put space between you and a family member, even cut them off. Like if that relationship is so toxic and the person that you're dealing with is completely unwilling to see your perspective or respect you, then I don't think family is so sacred that you should just grin and bear that. I know for me, I made a decision for me that I do prioritize my family now that I'm a bit older, and you know, we lost like one of my sisters. I organically kind of moved in a direction of like, yeah, you really never know when someone's going to get a diagnosis and then they're just going to be gone like in less than a year. And so I've been more willing to try to put effort into like having relationships with people in my family that I find quite difficult. And that means I don't really pick fights. I have people in my family that I don't know how best to describe. They are not of this generation at all. And they are fucking pissed at how the world has changed in some ways. We'll say it that way. That would be the most diplomatic way of saying that. And for me, I've made a decision to not fight them on that stuff. I literally just ignore it. It used to be that stuff would make my blood boil every time I heard it. And then I realized at a certain point, it's because I just didn't accept that that's the way that they are. There was a part of me that thought it was maybe partly my place to push them in a different direction, sort of like what QT is talking about. And again, it's like a case by case, because like sometimes there's going to be openings to push family members in that way. And not every family member is the same, but one day I just started practicing acceptance in a way that I never had before. And I just went through an internal process where I started to understand and realize it's not really my job to do that. And I don't think it's a realistic goal. And so at that point, it was just a matter of, okay, well, what am I willing to be around? Like, what is my threshold? And because at that point, your choice is either, well, accept the person or cut them off. Those are your two options. I don't know about, I don't really think there's an in between there. You can't really like straddle the line because it doesn't help the situation. I don't think it necessarily helps you to be persuasive. Like it doesn't help your relationship. It does. And most importantly, like it doesn't help me. I'm not gaining anything by constantly being upset about antiquated cultural ideas, I guess. Hutch's nephew is a groiper. Not that I'm aware of, but that was a choice that I made. And I'm not saying everybody has to make that choice because everybody's family is different. And so if people feel like they need to cut their families off, I'm not going to sit here and give them advice about whether or not they should do that, because I don't know their story. That's completely up to them. And it's completely valid for people to do that. But yeah.
To build a bridge. Like I'm
just
trying to get people to be more open-minded. That's what I would like to do.
That's what I'm trying to do. Simply.
I would like people not to be racist. I would like people not to be transphobic. I would like people not to be homophobic. I'm like, I would like a lot of things. And I simply try by loving people. And I know that's naive sometimes, but.
Right.
I feel like I want to vomit right now.
Right.
Not because I just feel so uncomfortable for everybody involved in this.
Right. You ready, Crispy?
Right. I'm sorry.
Right. No,
Do all your chats hate me now?
No, I'm getting a little. Well, I'm an emo only right now.
Oh boy.
My mom put it in emo only, but it's a little mixed reviews. Some people understand.
Like I feel like I want to. You know, like I'm just like, oh god.
If you or not, but that's like quite literally like anything. Like anyone can kind of just like have. This is a conversation that you could go back and forth all day about. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things.
You're still allowing them to act racist? I'm not. Not when they're actively.
Isn't that so telling? You're allowing them to act racist. Isn't that so telling? You know, allowing. The point is you don't have that kind of power over people. And I think people can change, people do change, but you know, oftentimes this kind of change takes a lot of time. There's a lot of factors that are outside of your ability to influence, you know. For context, these three have been a little crew these past few months.
You guys don't get it. If someone is actively around me, no, they're not doing those things. And that's why it's good to be around people that are loving and able to say, hey, that makes me uncomfortable. That makes me uncomfortable.
Rack 'em up, rack 'em up, rack 'em up.
What is that? Oh, I see what you did there.
I'm talking about people in my life, right? Like, I'm not talking about you guys fucking think everyone on the internet is friends. I'm like, we're not.
Yeah, also that too. I feel like a lot of people think that just because like you've like met one person or something that it's like, oh my god, she's like, I'm like, girl, I don't know that fucking man. Oh hell no, like just like random shit like that.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's just so interesting to me, that idea of like allowing, like you're just allowing other people to be racist at that point. And it's like, I don't know what power you think you have over other people. Like you actually can't control that. I don't know, man. I'm very recovery brained. I'm very Narcotics Anonymous brained on this because acceptance is such a big part of recovery. Like actively practicing acceptance is such a huge part of being in recovery. It's like the first step, you know, like the first step in the 12 steps of recovery is we admitted that we were powerless over drugs and that our lives had become unmanageable. That's the first step in the 12-step program. And that is like, you're leading with acceptance. Like, I accept that this is just how I am wired. And there's a reason why they lead with acceptance because it's so fucking important in life. And it's something that drug addicts struggle so much with because they're oftentimes using drugs as a way to, you know, self-medicate themselves because of something in their life that they can't really control that causes them pain, you know. When I was young, I definitely did not feel that way. When I was young, I was like, I treated people like a project. I was always trying to like fix people's flaws. I just did that for years, you know. Friends and family members and ex-girlfriends, and I just was always so focused on other people's shit. And I was so critical of other people. And I imagine that's what's going on with a lot of people in their chats. Like they're just young and they haven't quite learned the lesson of, like I had this friend, her name was Murphy. She was a really cool person and I don't talk to her anymore, but she said something that stuck out with me. It was so profound. Just this one little thing, and she probably heard it from her sponsor or heard it at a meeting or something like that. And but I remember so vividly just where I was when she said it. We were hanging out downstairs in the living room of the old apartment that I used to live in. I don't even remember what we were talking about, but she said, "Why is not a spiritual question because it denotes a lack of acceptance."
Earth, wind, fire, water.
I was interrupted because this shit is profound, okay? Listen to my words. I heard this shit when I was like 22 years old and it fucking stuck with me for the rest of my life. Why is not a spiritual question because it denotes a lack of acceptance. A lot of times when you go through some shit in your life, like, why? Why is this happening to me? Why did my girlfriend fucking dump me? You know, why is my job so fucking stressful right now? You know, why did Donald Trump win? Why is politics so awful right now? Why is everything on fire right now? That is like, when you're asking those kind of questions, you are suffering. That is you in suffer mode. You are suffering at that point. And that is a choice. That is a choice that you are making. I have a sponsor, you know, I work with a sponsor. I haven't done the best job reaching out to them lately or doing step work, but I've had times where Esme and me will be fighting. Be some argument, you know, which doesn't really happen that much these days, but like sometimes it's like there's like a sticking point, you know, like, no, she's not listening to me. She's not respecting my feelings. You know, you get one of those kind of things. And it's happened like twice where I call my sponsor and both times just like, well, man, it sounds like you're just not accepting like who she is, which is just like the worst shit ever. My sponsor will say something like that and I'll be like, fuck, you know, like, because I'll be like angry when he says that because he's right. Like, I know he's right in that moment. Like, I know he's right and it fucking pisses me off. Like, just, well, sounds like you don't really accept that flaw. Well, no, that's not what it is. It's just actually, well, I think you really accept her quite yet. Well, no, that's what, you know what I mean? Like, but anyways, it's just such a big part of recovery circles. And so, you know, when I hear of her reference someone in her chat where it's like, well, you're just allowing that person to be racism to be racism manifest, to be racist. You're just allowing them to be racist. It's like, well, that's a pretty self-centered attitude. It's actually not your job to like reverse people's racism. You're highly unlikely to succeed, to be honest.
Well,
Dang.
Oh well.
hey. Let's go,
Well,
let's go ghost hunting if y'all want, or...
Let's go freaking ghost hunting. Chat,
Yeah,
clean all the
let's
chats.
run around.
Sorry, we know it's a very hateful world, right?
Oh God, I want to throw up right now.
No.
Yeah, it's hard not to get rage baited these days, too.
I know, and I feel like this is going to get clipped crazily out of context as well.
I know, that's what I'm nervous about.
You
People are
already
gonna be like,
got,
no, you
crazy comments.
Should we edit the VOD?
blonde girl.
Should we edit the VODs?
Should we all just unlist the VOD? I guess Katie can't. She has her
No,
show
no,
earlier.
I stopped it and restarted stream.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I can't list it.
Oh.
We could just cut this part because I just don't. I'm not in the mental headspace to be dealing with that right now. If I'm being
To be
completely
clipped.
honest.
Okay.
I'm quite literally.
I'm
not
gonna
in the
delete my
mental headspace
VOD.
for that. Okay, perfect.
I'm just gonna delete it because it's not like we did anything important today either.
Yeah,
Let's be honest.
I got you.
We didn't even make.
Bro, they didn't even say anything crazy. She didn't even say anything crazy. there was like a couple things she said where I'm like, I don't know if I would have phrased it like that, but like 99% of what she said, it was just like, none of that was like crazy or insane. It's certainly not hateful or anything.
Guys.
We couldn't even make a YouTube video.
Guys, we can go off emo only right now, please. I don't
Okay.
see words. Okay.
I'm going to delete.
Oh wait, this looks better.
What?
The update, like the phasmophobia looks good.
What does it? Okay, you might want to delete clips too, just so you know.
Okay, I think my mod's the only ones that can make clips. I think I
Oh,
have it set
great.
like that.
Okay. And you deleted your VOD?
It doesn't post automatically.
You can still pull it unlisted.
Somebody in my chat asked me not to delete the VOD if that's okay with you guys.
Oh my God. Guys, I'm gonna vomit right now.
Oh.
You can edit it.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'll delete the VOD. What do I gotta do though? I gotta delete like the clips too? Is that what you guys are doing?
You just
The internet is forever. I mean, I don't know. You just Streisanded the shit out of this whole situation by doing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just go to video producer?
No, I know how to delete clips. I do. I'm just asking.
You go to channel.
Yeah.
Or you go to creator dashboard, and then you go to content, and then video producer, and then you click the 3 dots, and then you just push delete.
Okay.
Okay. I literally, I cannot watch that anymore. It's like I am cringing out of my body, my entire body. And so then the next day, it's this.
This is not about me. I just annoying that I'm chill. I'm fine.
You're clearly not, and that's okay. Clearly not fine. It is actually completely fine that she feels overwhelmed and emotional right now. And the fact that she feels like this impulse to be like, not about me. The whole situation is so toxic. It's so fucking toxic.
I don't articulate myself well, which means I can't really be upset if what I'm trying to convey is misunderstood. Because like, don't get me.
You actually can be upset because these people are malicious. That's what's happening right now. If anybody had a serious problem with anything that I just watched right there, they're just being malicious. So you do get to have a problem with that.
Wrong. At first I was like, how could that be taken this way? And then I listened and I learned and I said, oh my God, because it wasn't my intention, but I did articulate things very irresponsibly, and that sucks. I did a really poor job at articulating myself. Even some of the clips I've seen, I feel so irresponsible for my own wording. I really do.
Let's just hang on a second. You're taking on way too much responsibility. You know, yes, people have, I believe, you know, adults with a platform, especially a large platform, you do have, I think, a responsibility to use your platform in a way that doesn't cause destruction or negativity and or ignorance or confusion, and you know, so to a certain extent, you know, I think we do have a responsibility to be like just responsible adults, but that's just sort of like a universal thing. But people have imposed upon her the responsibility of like changing the world, which is just, that's a pretty tall order. Maybe scale it down a bit, you know, like maybe try to go for more achievable goals.
And I'm sorry for that.
Like it's almost like it's almost like they're treating her like she's the cause of racism and bigotry because she hung out with Faze or something, you know, like
I watched it back. I understand why it was hurtful. I've read the comments, believe it or not.
damn man, they fucking
The
they broke her, you guys.
misconception about DMCA strikes. Since the VOD was deleted, that
was the other thing too. She was like, you know, there was a clip that kind of went viral of her talking about how, like, you know, she would issue DMCA claims for people that were posting clips, but it was an unlisted VOD. You know, like if somebody takes an unlisted VOD and then posts clips of it, like I feel like that's valid.
Since the VOD was deleted, I did a singing stream after. I've been wanting to do a singing stream. You can, if you watch me, you know that. And whenever I do singing streams, I delete the VOD because I'm embarrassed.
Not gonna lie. Well, this seems like, I don't know if I believe this, especially after the clip that we just watched where she was like, everybody delete it. Not gonna lie, streaming sounds fucking miserable when you get communities like this, constantly on eggshells, hoping you don't trigger them. It's almost abusive. Well, here's the thing though, because I imagine it feels really good to be a part of that community when you're all when you all have a shared enemy. Like when someone is on the receiving end of your righteous fury and your righteous moral condemnation. That probably feels good, especially during the Trump era. You know, maybe that helps you feel like you you have a little bit of power, you know, like I feel like a big lesson of the Trump years is like a lesson in powerlessness. Like a lot of politics is about like, there's a lot of shit that you just can't, in a big old democracy with 330 million people. It's like, you know, there's a lot of things that you don't have control over, you know, but it must, I assume it feels really good to be on the giving end of this kind of backlash. But boy, oh boy, when you're on the fucking receiving end of it, it'll change your tune real fast.
Embarrassed of my singing, and I started the singing stream, and I don't
think they broke her. I think she's doing damage control. She knows this is fucked, but appeasing these people is what pays her bills. Well, I think we're splitting hairs here because, you know, the first clip I saw of her about this whole thing was her being kind of like, fuck you guys. I know I'm not a bad person. Like, fuck you guys. And then, you know, and then it kind of turns into the conversation that she was having with her 2 podcast friends. And it's like, now you're starting to see like, oh shit, she's starting to kind of break a little bit. And then here it's just like, they've fully broken her. She's doing a tearful apology, you know?
I I sang some of my unreleased music. I sang 3 of my unreleased songs, and then people were threatening to upload that. And so, yes, admittedly, I was on edge.
Oh, that's what that was about? That's totally fucking valid. Why are you apologizing for that? Is she apologizing? It sounds like she's explaining. That's what that clip was about? That's obviously valid, right?
Edge, and I was being a bitch about that.
No, you weren't. What are you talking about? How is that you being a bitch? What? I have now become radicalized. Like, I'm a radicalized pro QTCinderella streamer. We're going to devote the next 2 weeks to QTCinderella. That's what we're going to do.
I recognize that even saying this now, that might happen, that people might upload my unreleased songs.
Do it. DMCA them. Do it. Fucking do it, man. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's literally why they made DMCA, for like maliciously re-uploading stuff like this.
But I wanted to clear the record, and I was only thinking of my music being released. But I understand how that's being perceived now, as QT is, you know, copy striking anyone that posted the combo. I'm not. I've not sent out one copy strike. And even if you uploaded my music now, I don't know if I'd do anything.
Oh my God.
And so that's.
I just want to kick the fucking door down. Be like, you didn't do anything wrong. You know,
it sucks that that's where it went. I have, you know, I even went into my mod Discord the second it happened, and I said, if you see anyone upload my music, let me know. That's what it was about.
It's not about sticking to your morals. I don't think we should be dunking on her right now, because look, we all like to think that we're going to be courageous in a moment like this, but I've only had probably a tiny little taste of what she's experiencing right now, and it's fucking brutal. I feel like people should not be dunking on her. Mostly, I just feel bad. I don't think people should judge her, because unless you've been on the receiving end of that level of toxicity and hatred and vitriol, it's brutal. It can be brutal, you know?
It was about my music that I've worked.
And she's even getting upset here, man. I just feel bad for her, bro. I really do. Pathetic fucking losers that do this shit, man. Why are people like this? And then this person
simply didn't agree with it. I was uncomfortable. Obviously, as you could see in the clips, you know who I am. You know what I stand for. If you're someone who's been watching me, then you already fucking know. If you're a first-time fucking chatter and you're just joining off of
this fucking Judas. That's fucking unbelievable. Bad company with $2. Her capitulation will just embolden them. Oh yeah. Wow, we're well past that, my friend. We are well past that. They have been emboldened, you know, for years. This is just another body.
Clips that you've seen on TikTok and you don't know shit about me or fucking shit about shit, then of course I'm gonna assume that you're just gonna make the assumptions that you're going to make. But
you can't be this fucking charitable to QT but call this girl Judas because she didn't react instantly to the crazy shit QT was yapping about. All right, buddy. I'm gonna do it. I don't do it enough. We're gonna do it though. I'm gonna ban you. I just don't even want to interact with you. No, let me be the one that bans though. I don't want, if I ban, that's something else. I just, you know. The crazy shit QT was saying.
People who know me and know my character and know what the fuck I stand for know how I'm gonna go about this. So I am simply stepping back from everything, everyone. Gonna touch a little grass. Hold
on, is there a longer clip? I want a longer clip. There's got to be a longer clip here, right? What a Judas, man.
Simply didn't agree with it. I was uncomfortable. Obviously, as you could see in the clips. You know who I am. You know what I stand for. If you're someone who's been watching me, then you already fucking know. If you're...
Yeah, you in that clip of having the conversation with QT, that looked like, in that moment, a friend who was trying to make a bad situation better for another friend. That's what that looked like, albeit with some discomfort, but that's what it looked like in that clip. And then in this clip, it's like, didn't like it. Didn't fucking like it. Damn, what a betrayal. What a fucking betrayal, you guys. That is nuts. Hold on, there's got to be a longer clip. With friends like these, man. Fucking friends like these. Uh-oh. Stable Ronaldo's got some things to... I don't know anything about this person.
Of course, I'm going to assume that you're just going to make the assumptions that...
So this person was literally at Silky's birthday. You've asked Adapt to collab. You've been with Jason a ton of times, collabed, or whatever, been around. You're at Jason's concert. You literally have talked to me off stream saying, oh, blah, 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 like, how are you, blah, blah, you're killing it, blah, blah. I literally saw you 2 days at Silky's birthday, and you were on my stream with QTCinderella. And you were, I'm pretty sure she was at our 4th of July party. But because you're seeing tweets on the internet.
Ooh. Take her down, man. I fully support this. Come with the receipts. Bro, she threw... This makes it so much worse. Holy shit. What an absolute snake.
Calling us transphobes, racist, whatever it is. I don't even know what the words they're saying. Now...
I believe that. I do believe that. I gotta be honest with you.
Oh, now it's, oh yeah, I'm uncomfortable with her statements. You were not uncomfortable with your statements. You're literally just anything your community says, you realize you're like, what? You have a filter, it seems like what are you doing?
You're going to make.
She literally was so nice to us. I'm so confused. And now she's saying she's agreeing with people and that she's uncomfortable with what QT's saying. What is...
Oh,
people
no.
who know...
It seems to be whatever your community says, you get worried about. You get worried about what your community says because that's how you make your money. And you have to do it exactly what they say. You don't. This isn't real fans, by the way. Fans aren't just fans for holding you accountable. Fans are people that support you and understand your point of view or your statements. Anything that your community says, it seems like you just agree with instantly. How are people going to call us homophobic and transphobic? We've never even... What have we done that's anywhere near that? We fucking saved the gay dude from killing himself, for God.
Okay. I think they're talking about... What's his name? Jinx? I don't know who these people are, but I find all this situation, this drama riveting. Is it me or are things getting just crazier out there? Like, what is happening right now? It just feels like just back to back to back to back, like Collargate, Tattoo-gate, Beauty-gate. Just back to back to back examples of some crazy shit going on right now.